Okay, we are live. I
You're
am
live.
Chloe.
I am Sandy.
This is Night Right. I am not even close to centered on my camera. There we go. It wasn't even the camera. It was me, but I tried to make it about the camera. Yeah. Hello. Hi, everybody. What you working on tonight, Sandy?
My Villa project, and I'm really hoping I can finish that first chapter. I think I'm doing really well with it, but then I've got to edit that stuff, with the goal of having it apparently finished for next week. So
And we don't know what that means exactly. Like, are we talking about Sunday, like a couple days from now, or are we talking like a full 7 days, or is it
yeah,
maybe even next Friday? I
yeah,
wish they had been a little bit clearer when they said next week.
yeah. But I figure I at least have to have like the first 5 chapters going. So
I
there's
think
that.
I don't, it might not have been a requirement, but a very strong encouragement to have the first 5. So,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
think that's right. So
Yeah.
what about you? What are you working on?
I have my brain's not working because I got like 3 hours of sleep last night because of the cat. But I am working on a medium story. And then when that is done, I think I'm going to edit some Vela stuff, or maybe just edit that medium story.
Yeah. Okay. So medium drafting and then editing for you.
Yeah. I have like final. I think I don't know. I keep going back to the first episode of my Vela thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like actually editing some stuff in it, which of course means it needs to be proofread all over again. And I'm just like, I'm getting myself into that trap right now because I felt like it was a little lean on details, and a little bit lean on her character development. So I added a bit on those things, and that just, that's exactly how you make typos.
Yeah, that is so exactly how you make typos, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the truth. Yeah, no, I am also having like pet issues today. I've got like my dog had a flea, and she's a little teeny tiny princess white dog. So like I should notice that stuff, earlier.
Well, how many fleas did you find?
Well, only one, but there was like I found like some dark stuff on there first that I thought was like a scab. It's not. It's like fleas leave behind like blood
Yeah,
and
it's the poop.
feces.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, so that
yeah.
probably means it was at some point more than one flea. And then I had to like bathe her, and I'm worried about larvae, and I have flea stuff on her. And then
The
she
good
has
news though is that the flea stuff is really good now.
is it good?
Like
I It looks
you
good.
might like end up having to go to the vet to get the good stuff, but like when we had our infestation that one time, we went to the vet and got this stuff that was like, it was, I don't know, it was like $30, I think, that lasted like 3 months, but then we never had fleas again, so it didn't matter. But
That's
yeah,
good.
it just killed everything instantly.
Yeah.
We tried Capstar, and that, like, the first time we used it, we said we are never using this again because this does not seem safe at all with how our cats are acting on it. But there's a topical that the vets have.
Yeah, it turns out so I have like a thing called Frontline, which I think is what the vets usually
Oh,
it was
yeah.
from the vet.
Frontline is like an OTC version of what they have that isn't as good, but like if it gets the job done, it's fine.
Yeah. It's whatever our vet gave us. It's Frontline
Yeah.
Gold. And and of course, like if I had been giving it to her regularly, she would not have gotten any fleas. But I haven't been because I'm a bad pet parent. And then also she has incontinence now, it turns out. So I
Aww.
know I've been like noticing little tiny spots over the last
Yeah.
while. But like today, I found her by the door sitting in her own pee.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that unfortunate. I had a friend growing up whose dog just like peed when she got excited. Like,
Ours used to do that too, but
yeah.
like it's been a while, and just like to sit in it, like she didn't even realize it was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need a Vela project to like lighten up my world because oh my God. And I also like I did a teeny tiny little sewing project today. I touched my scissors and totally, can you see that? No, you can't. I just touched them and like slice with my finger.
I've done it.
That's what I get for having really good sewing scissors. It was crazy. Hi, Rosalind. Thanks for joining us. I'm not going to have any more disasters for the evening because, like, I think I've already had 3. So, and neither is Chloe.
They're in like disaster mode right now.
Yeah. Well,
Chunk is raging. Like he's just mad at everything right now. So he's trying to get into my closet. There's nothing. Like he's just mad at the door is closed. There's nothing. He knows there's nothing in my closet, but he is like, "Fuck this door! I'm opening it." Oh, I didn't get my timer started. Anyways, we are going into our first sprint now. So we are going to be putting 10 minutes on the clock. Let's see. There is the clock. And we'll put 10 minutes on it. It is 7 past. So we will see you guys at 17 past.
Okay.
Okay, we are back, and I'm just gonna finish this sentence. I realized when I opened my writing software that I was still in the middle of editing a scene. So I did finish that, and then I wrote, I don't know, 3 sentences. So, but I got that bit of editing done as well. So
I'm doing okay with mine. I think the scene is going where I want it to. I just have to be super productive, which is why, by the way, I'm going to be eating dinner while we're chatting over the break. My
do you
my
see
mother-in-law.
how disgruntled he is?
What?
You see
Yeah.
how disgruntled. My poor cat has been sick again. I know y'all might be like tired of me talking about my sick cat, but he just keeps getting sick on me.
We're just sad that he's sick.
He's had a really rough year. So every time we're like, okay, this is the last time he's gonna get sick for a while, then he gets sick again. But he might be on the mend this time, hopefully, because he's been sick a while this time. But we did cave and give him a bath, and he is extremely disgruntled about that, and we are clearly the meanest cat parents on earth now. And we're about to be a lot meaner because once he's a little bit drier, he is going to be getting some diaper rash cream in the diaper area. Because he's over grooming himself, and I'm worried that he's going to give himself like an infection, that he's going to end up like breaking
with like
skin.
a urinary tract infection. Yeah.
Well, not just that, but like I'm worried that he's going to break skin. And of course, that's a area where bad stuff is passing by. So yeah.
You don't want him to get infected from his own poop.
Exactly.
I get that.
I'm assuming that is also a risk with babies, and that's why there is. I discovered today 11 different diaper creams at Kroger.
Okay, so this is like one of the biggest benefits of having a NICU baby. Like you have your baby in the NICU, and your first introduction to diaper rash cream is like whatever the NICU gives you. So like, so you're like, okay, so I have this like ointment. It's like diaper. It's like butt ointment,
Mm-hmm.
and basically what we did was just look for like exactly the same ingredient, which turns out to be just like mostly Aquaphor. Like it's not very exciting in any way.
Everything said that for cats, because of course, like you have to be careful with cats because they absolutely, whatever you put on them, they will eat. It's not even like they might eat, they will. Regardless of where I put this, it will end up in his mouth at some point.
Indeed.
Which even with babies, you don't have to worry quite so much about. You hope that doesn't happen, but like it is a guarantee with a cat. And obviously, of course, some things that are toxic to us are not to them, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't have anything with zinc in it, which is the active ingredient in a lot of diaper cream.
Yeah.
And it had to be, I now see, it just kept saying that it needed to be A and D, and now I see that it's literally just vitamin A and D is what they meant by that. But I was grabbing the bottle to see because I was curious about what A and D stood for. And yes, it's definitely bad. And no, you're absolutely right, weird one, that babies are combination vacuum and wet mop. But like I hope that like diaper rash cream, it's rare that they would ever ingest enough of it that the zinc in it would harm them.
You hope that because what you're hoping is that they have like a diaper over that, So
right,
like, yes, they are a mop, but like also they're not licking their own butts like cats do. So
right. I was going to say also they're bigger than cats, but he's 18 pounds, so babies are not actually bigger than this cat.
Well, some babies are like theoretically, like a baby would be would get that big. I don't know. Mine is like 14 pounds.
Oh,
So
right.
but
His is
he's
also
on the
not
small
as
side.
big as him. Like,
Oh,
that's like a year or something before a baby hits chonk size.
no, you'd be surprised. Like a lot of babies are like 25 pounders by the time
The
they're like
chunky
6 months
ones.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like which I don't understand because mine totally fits into like if he's 6 months, he fits the 6 month clothing. If he's like 9 months, he fits the 9 month clothing. But he's in like the first percentile in terms of weight and height. So
It's like women's sizes.
yeah, apparently.
Maybe you're this size.
It's really bizarre. Yeah. Like why are these sizes named after months? What like, have we not changed this in like
I feel like they should absolutely be like for babies in particular, because babies are roughly the same height. Like obviously there are percentiles with height as well, but it's not like a
yeah.
drastic range.
Yeah.
So buy our baby clothes not by weight.
Yeah.
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 Oh, Weird One's got a tiny kitty. His
Oh.
sister, I think she only ever got to 12 pounds. But some cats are just smaller. He's got Maine Coon in him. You can tell from his face when he's not looking so disgruntled. But Maine Coons are big boys. We also think that he has Munchkin in him because he does have the shortest legs. But unfortunately, cat weight is not at all in their legs. There's almost no weight in a cat's leg. So it's all in their torsos and heads. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get our next sprint going now.
Yeah, let's do
So
it.
how did
Let's
you
do
do
it.
during that sprint? I don't think I asked you that.
I think you did. I think I said I did well. I did well, and then I said, and I'm also going to be eating dinner while we break, and I'm like halfway done
That's
with my
right.
dinner. So
Yes, I do remember that now. My bad. Okay. So 20 minutes is going on the clock. It is 24 past. So we will see you guys at 44 past. Oh, look at him trying to get comfy, but he's sweat. Okay, time on that sprint. How did you do, Sandy?
I don't know. I'm being productive, but like I feel like I'm taking my story down a little bit of a rabbit hole. So I don't know. I got to fix it during the next one. What about you?
Well, the good news with that is that you still have to like bleed it into your second chapter, which is already written, so you can't go too far down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the problem. I realized I had to, this is like my lawyer character, right? So like she looks just sort of like kind of like a workaholic in the beginning, and like you don't really see anything interesting about her until chapter 2. So I realized I kind of like I probably needed to give her some family or like some, friends or something that she cared about outside of her law firm. So I have her at her sister's apartment with like her sister's kids, because this is something I can do to make her look interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But a kid scene could like drag and drag and drag. So I've got to chop it off, right? Like I need like
interacting with the kid. The kids aren't like running around while she's talking to her sister.
Well, kind of all of the above, right? But like I need to show that for like 5 seconds and then let the reader be like, oh, she's a good person. Yay.
Yeah.
Move on, right?
Really the highlight of that should be the sister calling her out on her life choices. Because that's
God, that's brilliant.
Learn where her problems are. Is that not what you were doing?
No, but that's it.
Like this is absolutely you need that cliche conversation of like, you're driving yourself nuts in this and you're like missing out on life.
Like you are not going back
and kids and my perfect family, and you've got a cat. What does she have any pets at all?
Mm-mm.
No. She doesn't even have a cat.
How would she have time for a cat? I mean,
well, cats you don't need that much time for unless, you just bathed your cat, so you cover him with a blanket because you're worried he's going to get cold because the fan's on.
She doesn't have a cat, but suddenly this conversation became a scene later in the book. You don't even have a cat? How do you not have a cat? Like, you have nothing in your life?
Okay, so here's why I actually thought cat though. And I feel like this is a really good comparison, although I feel like it might be better serving if she has like fish, because fish you just have to feed them once a day. But Catwoman, her background is she was a workaholic, and so all she had in her life was cats. And then the cats saved her life, gave her one of its lives. I don't know. I'm confused about her mythology slightly, but that was her whole thing, was that like she was a crazy cat lady because she was a workaholic. Yeah. So I feel like that is also a really good way to show not tell. I absolutely hate that phrase. Just so everybody knows, I absolutely hate it because I feel like people don't understand what it's trying to say. And it's easier to just be like, don't put too much exposition. Don't. Yeah.
No, you're right. Which is exactly why I have to do this scene, right? Like, because otherwise I was just talking about how she worked all the time. And it was like, yeah, okay, we get it. Like she works all the time, but does she have zero else going on in her life? Or like, is there nobody saying like, are you joking? Like, are you seriously going to go back to the law firm tonight after the birthday party? Like,
and like it being her sister, that also means there could be that conversation. I'm sure we've all had this conversation where a relative that we didn't know was still connected to somebody who used to be like a high school friend of ours. And then mom or sister or whoever is like, so you heard so-and-so got married, right? And you're like, oh, I probably should have, because they were like my best friend in high school, but no, I had no idea. But like, that's not just that she's not connecting to people so much, but also that, again, other people are having these milestones that she's not having. That we certainly live in a world where that is okay now.
We do.
But when you put that into the book, it makes the reader notice it. Also, thanks for joining, Shadow, even if it was just to say hi. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's like a good opportunity, right? Because I can give her these like kids and family members that she actually does care about. All right, like show her that she's like a little human who does actually have some empathy ability, and then also give her a reason to like want to work hard, because I can make your family like not super wealthy. I mean, they don't have to be poor, right? But they can be just like kind of getting by.
Yeah.
And that's a good reason to want to make partner. And then I can introduce the rich guy to her. That'll be fine.
Yeah. And then there can also be like, she can act like she's totally happy and be like, I don't know if I ever even want kids, but like, why does it even matter? Because you have kids and I can like hang out with your kids and it's just the same. And the sister can be like, no, it's really not. And if you don't want to have kids, that's totally fine. But if you do, clock's a ticking.
I think this is also, I need to revisit the sister's apartment at some point, so I might not do all of this in this one scene, but like, yeah, like this is really useful for like development all throughout the whole book. Yeah.
Family is great for that. And family, like the thing that makes family really, really good for that is the fact that like family is, first of all, they're going to say shitty things. They're not going to hold back at all. And it's going to be relatable for the reader because we have all been there. But also most of your readers are not going to be like, why is she still hanging out with her sister when her sister says things like that? So they might be with a friend.
Right. It's not going to be like, wow, why are you hanging out with somebody who wants to like force you to have children? It'll just be like, that's a thing that sisters do. Yeah, you're right.
As much as in real life, I am constantly asking my friends why they still socialize with their shitty families, because I don't understand that, because I don't socialize with my shitty family. But
family doesn't have to be all shitty, right? Like they can be great and still say things that are hurtful or a little beyond what you...
niece and nephew.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give her a brother too. Like, I think I'm going to give her a sister and a brother and like let them both be there with like mom and kids and
so it's going to be a very relatable scene, but it's going to be that easy, cheap way of like showing where your character is versus where they want to be, or what they're resisting wanting, or
Yes, and it doesn't have to take long, right? I don't need to do that much to show her like being nice to a child and then arguing with her sister about like going back to the firm. That's brilliant. How did you do? This was really helpful for me, but what about you?
Well, I tucked my cat in. Which is about to get wrecked because Ken is about to get texted to come help me with the final stage of this torture. But I did some writing, and I honestly don't have any idea how many words I wrote. I'm at 12:32 for the day, and I edited 2 scenes today, so some productivity has happened, which I feel really good about considering how bad today was. And there was a point where he just like meowed at me for like 20 minutes about how much pain he was in, but like shrieked at me anytime I went anywhere near him. Totally like cat dying, like cat caught in a trap, freaking out. To the point where I literally just left. Like I left my own home.
Because your cat was yelling at you and you couldn't do anything to fix it. Oh.
Yeah, so I just fucking abandoned him. And I got diaper rash cream. And I went for a walk. at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was hot as balls. And I was like, it's better than the cat.
Whoa. Well, and you love that cat. So like that was a
Yeah.
well-needed rest. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have people who've been with us today. We have Alley Cat and Laura Nettles and Shadows Lair, and I think Weird One may have left. But thanks for
Yes,
stopping
Shadow
by.
also just popped in.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
let's go ahead and do our next sprint.
Yes.
We will keep this ball rolling. Oh yeah, because I was
Let's do
10
that.
minutes. Oops. Let's see. Why do I mess this up every time? There we go. Okay, so 20 minutes on the clock. If I am not back the second I should be, but if I'm not back the moment that the timer ends, it's because we're dealing with Cat. So we'll see you guys at 1:15. Okay, time is up. Let me know how you did. Hello, Charlie, the Charleaders. Thank you so much for reading me. I can't speak right now, and you just have to accept that about me. How did you, Sandy?
I got a little bit caught up in this whole scene, and now I'm like changing things, and I'm doing too much with it, but it's fine. It's going well. It'll be fine. What about you?
We dealt with the cat, and I got this almost finished, and then I realized that like I've got like a weird continuity error, which is crazy when something is 1,500 words. That continuity errors could still happen, but here we are. Thank you, Charlie, for accepting everything about me. But yeah, so this is almost done. And like I said, I was going to jump right from writing it to editing it, but I think I'm going to save the editing for tomorrow so I'll be doing Vela edits on our next sprint.
Nice. So we're both doing Vela stuff. I feel a lot of pressure about that right now. Like, wow, I really need to get on that.
Yeah, that email really irritated me. So if y'all don't know, which I'm sure those of you who just came here from Charlie's stream, I'm guessing that Charlie talked about it as well, but they put out an email today saying that Vela was going to go live next week, but there wasn't a date in it. And of course, when we're talking about that kind of time period, a date could be really handy because next week could be as early as Sunday, which is 4 days from now, if I have any control over math anymore.
So you know something interesting? I did not get this email from Amazon, which probably means, they think I'm not interested because I haven't actually published any of my stuff.
Oh, right. You haven't. Well, their emails are staggered anyways, though.
That's true.
So you could be getting it tomorrow, or it could be because of that. But the way that the email was phrased, it did sound like it was going to everybody and not just people who already are signed up for Vela.
Yeah, like I just searched for it, but I don't see anything. The last Vela thing I have was from June 23rd.
This one, oh God, I canceled Stars the other day, and now they're just begging me to come back. So it says, it's happening. Are you ready? Readers will have access to Kindle Vela stories starting next week. So make sure to publish any. Oh, okay, never mind. So make sure to publish any additional episodes you'd like to make available to readers today. So yes, that is why. It is because I already have episodes published.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is what's going on, and I do not, because it's my first chapter that I'm.
Right. So yours unfortunately is a bad point to be stuck on, but once you get that done, then you should just have that little bit of like continuity to fix, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, hopefully somehow these, just writing a chapter right now seems like so daunting in a lot of ways, which is terrible because I used to be able to write a chapter, easily in at least like a week, but I'm struggling to find that time right now. And, when you don't write every day, or when you don't have time to write more than a few seconds a day, then you sort of like forget your stuff easily, right? So like every single time that I start a story or start a new chapter or start working on an old chapter, I've got to go back and like read at least part of what I've already done. So I'm like losing time for that. It's that's how I feel about that. Nah.
Yeah, it is the grind right now, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is right now.
I know. Oh, sorry guys. I am. Oh my God! Did I tell you I tore my ACL, right? And I'm gonna need knee surgery because that's the kind of year I'm having, you guys. It's that sort of thing. I fell again like 2 days ago,
Was this the fall that you told me about, or is this yet another fall?
This is a third fall. Had I already told you about that? Yeah.
When your brother was over?
I think this was after he was over. But I might have told you about it then. Yeah,
Okay.
like I totally managed to fall a third time. My knee buckled again. I was reaching for like a cupboard. I was on carpet. I was doing nothing interesting. And I like swear I heard things crackle. And oh, I didn't break anything else, I don't think, on like any other limbs. But like I so don't have time for that, you know? Like I
Yeah.
don't have time to add like weeks to my knee surgery recovery
Yeah.
because I've torn a meniscus too or something. And you like, you know, theoretically you can be like,
Well,
oh,
and
you
like,
know, that's a week where I'll be like out of commission and basically like on my butt. So maybe I can write that whole time. Yeah, but I'll be on my butt on pain meds. So
and the other thing is that you can't get that surgery. Do you see him just like glaring over my shoulder, like he deliberately found the spot on my bed so that he could like watch condescendingly?
mhm.
Anyways, so oh god, what was I gonna say?
You're
Oh,
gonna say I can't get the surgery
you can't even
until
get surgery until your arm is healed,
yeah,
and well, like.
I know.
But also, like, there is a fear that you are going to re-injure the arm if you fall. So that's another reason that you just have to be like really, really super careful because because
But like
there's a lot. There are a lot of things that need to come together, and I'm so sorry that we're both yawning tonight. We just both had rough days.
yeah, right? Like that stuff is I don't know. I'm part of the 10-minute novelist Facebook group, but I've never really like participated. And right this second, I'm feeling like I should really like look at what they do because I think I might only have 10 minutes a day right
I'm
now.
I'm in that group and I don't see much useful for like being a 10-minute novelist, unfortunately.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
not good.
But if you want to start doing daily sprints with me, just like one sprint a day, just to fucking write, I'm here.
Yeah, but like it's so hard to do when you have I mean, I have in-laws in the house and my mom in the house and other people taking care of the baby and like then I'm trying to like, you know, make sure I'm not like totally not pulling my own weight in some way. So
Yeah.
there's always some work to be done. There's laundry, there's, you know, food to be prepped, there's grocery shopping to be done. There's like things to clean up, there's bottles to be made.
There's also injuries to recover from. So
That.
they don't become bigger injuries. So you don't become my mother who will never stop whining about the injury that she had in like 1997.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I need to get over this and, like, be more productive. Like,
She
I have this
fell in the
amazing
garage and
yeah.
like broke an arm bone that way. And it
Oh.
never healed, right? Because she was over the age of 30. She was in her 40s when that happened, because I remember it. But yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and do our next sprint.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So we are putting 20 minutes on the clock again. And it is, oh Jesus, I just clicked the wrong button. Hold on. It is 9:24 here in Atlanta, so we'll see you guys at 44 past. Sorry, I'm here. I just was fighting with Photoshop. The huge.
That is okay. So sorry, I was just looking at the comments. Alley Cat says that so many people she knows are having surgery and that she had to have ankle surgery too. Ellie, I'm glad you got your stitches out today, and I'm sorry about the boot. And Chloe, how'd you do on that sprint?
I finished writing that thing, and I ended up hopping over to my Vella cover instead of doing something more useful. I saw somebody else's Vella cover for their alien romance and was like, oh, that's so much better than mine. And so now I'm having that moment. I really don't need to have that moment, but I'm having that moment.
Well, I'm sure your stuff will be fine, but I mean, I would really like to know like how much covers are actually going to even matter for this.
I am also curious about that, so I'm trying not to like stress too much about this. And it just happened to be like I just saw that cover and it happened to be really good, and I was like, ooh, do I need to change this? But like, it's ridiculous. I don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it anyway.
So I did actually finish my chapter also, and I'm happy with that. But
Awesome.
yeah, it is awesome. It's awesome.
Such confidence.
Things like covers just make me think like, oh my God, there's so much about this that I'm just like doing wrong. You know, like there's so many ways in which this is not going to ever get done. Why am I trying? But that's a terrible attitude. Don't listen to my attitude, you guys. I'm just having kind of a moment.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I believe I'm capable of things.
Yes, you absolutely do. And this is just one of those moments. And I think it is a fair moment right now because we are leading up to this whole thing going live. And of course, we're all kind of flying blind with it. We really don't have any idea of what anybody is doing, right? Because we're all putting our stuff out at the same time. Obviously, like you don't have to put it out at the same time, but like a bunch of us are getting stuff ready to go out right now. So yeah.
And you kind of don't want to miss that train, right? So
Exactly.
I mean, who knows how it's going to go, but you know that like your worst case scenario, you use that story for something else later, and your best case scenario is it catches on. And like, what if the market is just so saturated by the time your story is finished, or ready?
Yes.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot to be said for being like a front runner in something like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I would really like to know, like, I'd like to know like how many people are doing this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's no market research whatsoever. So you have absolutely no idea. Like, right? Like you have no clue what might count here.
Yeah, and the other thing is that like for me, I am in a bunch of groups, and most of my groups are not talking about it at all. But then every once in a while, somebody will just randomly, like that group that I sent you the screenshot for today. That ridiculous conversation, anyways. Right after I sent that to you, somebody was like, oh, I'm going to be putting something in Vella. By the way, it goes live next week. Like, yeah, I said that and I was told to shut up. So, but yeah, so there's one person in that group. And then, like I said, I saw that Alien Romance cover today. So like, but then that convention that I did 2 weekends ago, nobody was talking about it there either. And I mentioned it in one of my panels and nobody knew what I was talking about. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Like how many people are going to be there from the start, but we'll see.
And that makes me feel like it's even more important to get on this. Like I I
Mhm.
feel like I'm not seeing it come up super frequently in like any of my writer feeds. Like it's like obviously we're talking about it on like here, and so thus author tubers, right? Because I'm sure that we're
Yes.
not the only author tuber people's doing that. But I mean that group is actually like fairly like close knit in some ways,
Mhm.
right? So who knows? You guys, it could just
And
be a
also, it's
tale
a
of
good
us.
group for being like everybody's really connected in
Hmm.
a good way because it's such a tight network.
Hmm.
Um, everybody, like when something new comes out, like everybody is on it really quickly.
Yeah, right, because we're
Yeah.
all on each other's like, streams.
Mhm.
So there's that happening, which but so who knows? Are there like other groups like that? Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like we like why aren't we seeing more of this in 20
Yeah.
books to 50K, for example? And I think the answer is that it's experimental. So like there
Mhm.
is no one can come out and say like, oh, I just did this and this is how much money I made.
Right.
Or this is how much money I didn't make.
Right. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people. Like the thing is that we can absolutely like one of the big allures for this is if you want to write something that is truly 100% episodic and really never has to end.
Yeah.
I'm just, the thing is that like for me, writing an episode in 5,000 words, it's like a true, like complete episode of something doesn't really work for me, which is okay. If I had more tools,
Then
if
you
we
could
had
do
like
it.
actual line breaks and heading tools and stuff like that, I'd probably be more comfortable writing true episodic. But anyways, um, so like this will hopefully open up the truly like forever running episodes. But in the meantime, while we're figuring it out, there's absolutely no reason that you can't put out a book that does have a concrete end. That has like an episodic sort of pacing to it that that like single unit chapter really can be read as an episode as a chapter of a chapter instead of a chapter. But then if the whole thing goes tits up, you just make a book.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's
Yeah.
just like it's so low risk and
Yeah.
such like potentially high gain. You feel like, well, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
Why
you
not
just gotta
attempt?
write something that'll fit either format. Or like be
Yeah.
bold and daring, of course, and write something that will only fit in an episodic format. Um,
Yeah.
which, if you do that, then you've just opened yourself up to the ability to have a good product to put up for a Patreon if you ever decide to go that route. And certainly, we are in a crowdfunding sort of world where things like Patreon are becoming more commonplace
Yeah.
and less beggarly.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
So since it is the world that we live in right now, in some ways,
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. Although I don't know, I feel like setting up a Patreon is or a Kickstarter or whatever. The biggest thing for me, besides like the feeling that you're just asking people for money,
Yeah.
is like the barrier for entry is, oh my God, that sounds like so much to set up.
Yes. I would consider like I am depending on how this project goes on Vela, I am considering using it as a bit of a like extra little handle to actually get a Kickstarter going to build some funds up for my alien romance.
Mm,
But I don't like I feel better about Kickstarter than I do Patreon. Um Patreon is like
really?
a
That's
weird
interesting.
thing to me because like a Kickstarter ends, like you hit your goal and it's over, and like yay,
Oh,
job well done, everybody. And here's everything that I promised I would give you. Here they are. And Patreon, it's more of like a subscription sort of thing. It doesn't have to be, but most of them are. And
yeah.
it's either buying a subscription or it's like you just have a Ko-fi, like it, yeah.
I mean, I think
Or
that,
like to sell your shit in a marketplace.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get it. And I mean,
Yeah.
I do also kind of feel like there's a lot of like, that's a commitment. It's like the Vela commitment, but like worse, right? Because
Yeah.
you're sort of telling people that they should pay you and then you will write, right? Like, pay me money, I'll write more. Not like, here's what I've written,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
pay me money for what I've already written.
Whereas like
Um,
Kickstarter is actually just like a fundraiser and we have our goal and this is the end
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
And thank you so much for supporting me. Here are some goodies that you get for your generous donations. And among those goodies will most likely be the book that you are helping me write. So yeah,
yes.
with maybe like book plates and stuff. Anyways, do we want to do a little 10 before we call it a
Yeah,
night?
one
Okay.
more time.
It is a bit late to do a 20 and we are both drag assing a
I know.
bit. If we were a little bit more spry tonight,
But we're
I would
not.
say a 10, but I don't know what the antonym to spry is, but it is what we are. I guess the antonym to spry is drag assing.
I think it is. I think
Yeah.
we're drag assing. Yeah, totally.
So we will see you guys in 10 minutes for our final farewells, but go get some work done in the meantime.
Yes.
Okay, that was time, and that was our last sprint. I found two really dumb, little but dumb continuity errors in that sprint. So
Oh,
yeah, I've got a reference to them not carrying guns because they're in space, and my space doesn't have guns because that's how you put holes in the side of spaceships. But Kai makes a reference to them not having guns, and I was like, why would Kai even know what a gun was? But then I remembered all of those movies they have, so I made a reference to them not carrying guns like they see in their movies.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you may recall that part of what they bring to the women is stuffed animals. But they bring clothing and snacks and stuffed animals.
Yeah.
There's no clothing because remember, she's still wearing her stupid hospital gown thing.
Right.
And then there would be no snacks because they've got the beverage dispenser thing. So that's like the reason that she can't get food on the ship.
Right. So they're definitely not bringing snacks.
Right, because they're going to be going back onto the ship in a minute and getting their nutrition stuff. And why would they even have snacks then? Like, they just wouldn't exist on their ships. So
I mean, I don't think people pay that much attention to that stuff, honestly. I clearly did not catch it, but
well, you wouldn't have unless you had reread it because they're all issues that are more problematic later. When she is still in her hospital gown and when they are fighting with the nutrition dispenser. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you found them.
Yeah. I'm glad that I found them as well.
Yes. I sort of started polishing up that chapter, so I feel decent about it. But that's it. That's all I got. Yeah. I have to go, you guys, because there is a baby that needs to be fed fairly soon. But hopefully, if you were with us, you got a decent amount of work done. I actually feel pretty good about that. I think I got a chapter pretty well wrapped up. So it could be worse.
I'm glad that I got something done, even though it was not nearly as done as I wanted it to be. But it is a short story with an ending to it, and I will fix it up tomorrow morning. Is my plan. So, on that note, I don't know when we will be back again. Well, we will be back next Wednesday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm hopefully going to be on sometime the next 2 mornings. I haven't been sleeping right because of that jerk right there. But hopefully I'll be on sometime again this week. But if not, on Twitch this weekend, the NaNoWriMo MLs are doing 100 hours of Twitch. Hours of writing, 100 hours of writing. We'll be doing streams from Friday to Sunday. I thought I could just pull this up really quickly, and of course I was not nearly as prepared as I wanted to be. Starting at 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday, Dreaming Rose will be hosting. I'll be hosting 6 to 8 p.m. on Friday, and again 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Those are both Eastern times. So if you watch for my streams, then you can at least hit the train that way and ride the raid train through, and we'll be sprinting from 2 p.m. on Friday until 6 a.m. on Sunday. So,
wow.
Which is not 100 hours. We do 100 hours in November. We do these shorter, I don't know. It ends up being, let's see, 26, 28, 30, 33, 34, 36, 40. We do 40 hours, which is still pretty substantial. But yeah, so that's going on this weekend. I think that's everything for us. We'll hopefully have more information about Vela next time we see you.
maybe
Uh,
we'll have started. Maybe
yeah,
we'll be
maybe
like,
there will
wow, they're
already be
capable
Vela
of it.
that we can like pitch to you.
It's a possibility. Yeah.
Right? We'll have actual announcements instead of this like math rambling that's happening right here. Yeah, so that is everything. We're gonna go. We're both sleepy. Sandy has a baby to deal with. I'm gonna have to somehow move my cat from the center of my bed without like pissing him off more because his life is miserable right now. But yeah, we will see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining.